The Bee Gees are, without a doubt, one of the most iconic bands of all time, and their musical trajectory transcends decades and generations. Their unique combination of harmonious voices, sophisticated compositions, and an almost magical ability to reinvent themselves over time makes them a reference point for any fan of pop and disco music. Their global impact was so profound that many, like me, discovered in the Bee Gees a passion that goes beyond simple casual admiration. In my case, it all started in 1989. When I stopped listening to the song Wish You Were Here, which touched my heart deeply, that was when I realized the greatness of the Gibb brothers' talent at that moment. This discovery opened the doors to a fascinating universe of sounds, lyrics, and emotions that only the Bee Gees could provide. And what began as simple admiration quickly turned into an overwhelming passion. I began to realize that these three brothers, Barry, Robin, and Morris, were much more than just artists. They were creative geniuses, each with a distinct role, but all collaborating in an almost telepathic way to create immortal songs. The Bee Gees are not only remembered for their success on the dance floor in the 70s, but also for their unique ability to navigate different musical styles. I first met them in 1989. At that time, the Bee Gees were reclaiming their space in the music scene with the album One, which featured more mature and reflective songs. The song One, in particular, marked the band's return to the charts, but with a more adult and emotional sound. Since then, the Bee Gees have become an intrinsic part of my life, to the point where I say they have left no room for other artists to capture my heart in a similar way. This reflects a very strong connection with their music, something that goes beyond the sound. It is a connection with the emotions they express and the stories they tell through their lyrics and arrangements. The way I describe this feeling suggests that the Bee Gees, for me, are not just a band or a collection of hits. They are part of my musical and emotional identity. Being a dedicated collector of Bee Gees memorabilia is another fascinating aspect of my journey as a fan. Collecting is not just an accumulation of records, wines, CDs, or memorabilia. It symbolizes a constant search to understand more about these incredible brothers, to discover every detail, every alternate version of a song, every live performance. Maybe I was moved by finding a rarity, an old recording, or an item that has sentimental value linked to the band's history. The collector I have become is driven by passion and the desire to connect even more deeply with the Bee Gees' work. Furthermore, being a Bee Gees admirer also means considering the impact they had on the history of music. Their innovation in the 1970s with the emergence of the disco era, especially with the album Saturday Night Fever, was a cultural trait that changed the course of pop music. However, for me, the Bee Gees go beyond that label. My love for them seems to be rooted not only in their hit songs, but also in their ability to write timeless melodies and lyrics that explore human feelings in all their complexity. The emotional connection I have with the Bee Gees has also been nurtured by my own personal stories and challenges. Seeing three brothers face highs and lows together, overcoming personal tragedies and still creating such heartfelt music, strengthens that bond even more. The passing of Morris in 2003 and then Robin in 2012 was especially painful for me as a fan. However, their music remains a living legacy, a legacy that continues to resonate in every chord and harmony. It's fascinating how a band can have such an impact on a person's life, shaping tastes, inspirations, and even personal memories. For me, the Bee Gees are more than music. They are a link to special moments, to deep emotions, and, without a doubt, an inexhaustible source of admiration. And as a huge fan, I have kept the flame of their legacy alive, ensuring that their work continues to be recognized and appreciated, just as I did when I first met them in 1989. After all, the Bee Gees have always known how to touch people in a unique way. And for me, they have occupied such a special place that there was no more room for other artists. A true and authentic passion that has made them, in fact, irreplaceable in their musical journey. Leave your like, subscribe, and share the video.